Hello children, how are you all? Are you all enjoying at your homes? Be safe, okay children? Wash your hands regularly. Use soaps, sanitizers and hand washes, okay? Okay, don't go out of your house unnecessarily, okay? Stay in your home and enjoy, okay? Enjoy by staying at your homes and learn your lessons, okay children? We are learning lesson 2, so children, motion and force. Children, have you all learned what we have learned in this previous classes? Okay, let us write a small test. Okay, children? Yeah, take your homework notebook. Take your pen. Put today's date and mention it as test. And your first question. What is the formula to find time period of the pendulum? What is the formula to find the time period of the pendulum? And then second question. What are the factors which do not affect the time period? Okay, what are the factors which do not affect the time period? Simply write the factors only, okay children? Okay, there are 3 factors, is it? So write only those 3 factors. And then next question. The number of dash it completes in 1 second is called frequency. The number of dash it completes its 1 second is called frequency. And then the next question. Dash is the maximum displacement of the bob. Dash is the maximum displacement of the bob. And then the next question. The 2 positions of maximum displacement on either side of the simple pendulum is called dash. The 2 positions of maximum displacement on either side of the simple pendulum is called dash. And then the next question. Write one example for oscillatory and periodic motion. Okay, oscillatory and periodic motion. Okay, ரெண்டுக்கும் சேர்த்து ஒரே ஒரு example தான் எழுதணும். Okay children? Okay, write one example for both oscillatory and periodic motion. And then the last question. The body moves in a straight line is dash type of motion. A body moves in a straight line is dash type of motion. Children, have you all written? Okay, very good. Keep your notebooks aside. Take your book. We'll recall, okay? Yeah, what we have learnt in this lesson? First of all, we have learnt about rest and motion, is it? Yeah, children, what is meant by rest? If a body does not change its position with respect to a fixed point is called rest, okay? And what is meant by motion? If a body changes its position with respect to a fixed point is motion. Okay, and then we have learnt about types of motion, is it? What are the types of motion we have learnt? Translatory motion, rotatory motion, oscillatory motion, vibratory motion, periodic motion, non-periodic motion, multiple motion and random motion. Okay, translatory motion means If a body moves in a straight line means that is rectilinear motion, a type of translatory motion. Okay, and then curvilinear motion. If a body moves in a curved path, that is curvilinear motion. Okay, and then rotatory motion. If a body moves in a fixed axis means that is rotatory axis. And then oscillatory motion. If a body moves back and forth means that is oscillatory motion. Okay, and then vibratory motion. If a body moves in a to and fro or back and forth direction rapidly means that is vibratory motion. Okay, and then periodic motion. If a body repeats its motion in regular intervals of time, that is periodic motion. Okay, children. And then non-periodic motion. If a body does not repeat its motion in regular intervals of time means that is non-periodic motion. Okay, and then multiple motion. What does mean by multiple motion? If a single body performs 2 or 3 types of motion means that is multiple motion. Okay, for example, we can say riding bicycle. Okay, and then random motion. If a body keeps changing its state of motion means that is random motion. Okay, children. And then in the previous class we have learnt about simple pendulum, is it? Yeah, what we have learnt? If you just pull the simple pendulum means it will start moving in a to and fro, is it, children? So while moving in the to and fro, the maximum displacement on either side of the pendulum is called extreme positions. Okay, 2 extreme positions are there, and if it is not moving and if it is in resting position means that position is called mean position. Okay, yeah, can you able to remember all these things? Okay, what are the parts you can see in the simple pendulum? It has a bob, it has a string, and it has a rigid support. Okay, and what are the terms involved in the simple pendulum? First of all, length. Okay, yeah, how will you calculate the length of the simple pendulum? From the tip of the suspended end. Okay, the tip of the suspended end to the center of the bob. Okay, if you are calculating from these 2 points means that is length. Okay, children. And then amplitude. What is meant by amplitude? The maximum displacement of the bob is the amplitude. Okay, children. The maximum displacement of the bob is the in either direction. It is amplitude. Okay, we will calculate that amplitude from the mean position. Okay, children. Mean positions to the extreme position. Okay, and then mean position to other extreme position, that is called amplitude. Okay, and then oscillation. What is meant by oscillation? Okay, one complete cycle of to and fro motion, that is one oscillation. Okay, if it moves from mean position to extreme position and again to other extreme position and back to the mean position, that is called, it is called one full cycle. Okay, it is called one oscillation. Okay, and then frequency. What about frequency? If you are calculating the number of times it is oscillating in 1 second. Okay, in 1 second number of times it is moving, it is called frequency. Okay, and then time period. For completing one full cycle, what is the number of time? Okay, it is calculated by the time period. Okay, children. And then mean position. What is meant by mean position? It is the resting place. Okay, resting place of the bob, that is the mean position. Okay, and then we have learnt about the relationship between time period and frequency, is it? Yeah, what is the relationship? Time period is the reciprocal of frequency. Okay, time period is the reciprocal of frequency. So what we can say? Time period equal to 1 by frequency. Okay children, so T equal to 1 by F. And then, okay, what are the factors that affect the time period? Length of the bob and acceleration due to gravity. Okay children, yeah, what we can say? If we have increased the length means the time period will also increases. So that we are saying time is directly proportional to the length of the pendulum. Okay, so T is proportional to square root of length. Okay, and then time period decreases with acceleration due to gravity increases. Okay, if the acceleration due to gravity increases, the time period decreases. So what we can say? The time period is inversely proportional to the square root of acceleration due to gravity. So T proportional to 1 by root of gravity. Okay, we should combine these two equations. Okay, so what we get? T is proportional to root of L by G. Okay, we want to remove that proportionality. Okay children, so we are including constant in it. Okay, so T equal to constant into root of L by G. Okay, by substituting constant as 2 pi. Okay, we are substituting the constant as 2 pi, and what will be the time period? What is the formula to find time period? Time period equal to 2 pi root of L by G. Okay children, and what are the factors which do not affect the time period? If we change the mass of the bob, and if we are changing the material of the bob, and also if you are changing the amplitude of the bob means also the time period will not change. Okay, what are the factors which do not affect the time period? Mass of the bob, material of the bob, and then amplitude of the bob. Okay children, these are all the factors which do not affect the time period. Okay children, and then we have learnt about seconds pendulum, is it? So okay, in 2 seconds, okay, in 2 seconds, if you are calculating the motion, okay, if you are calculating the oscillations means, okay, that is seconds pendulum. Okay, time period of the simple pendulum depends on length, is it? We know. So that the simple pendulum in which the time period is 2 seconds is called second pendulum. Okay, second, if you are while we are seeing the oscillation of the pendulum, okay, 2 seconds, if you are calculating the time period of 2 seconds means that is seconds pendulum. Okay children, can you all understood? Okay, and then today we are going to learn about scalar and vector quantities. In this class we are going to learn about two physical quantities. Okay, that is scalar and vector quantities. Okay children, what does mean by physical quantities first? Anything which we can measure is called physical quantities. Is it children? Anything which we can measure is called physical quantity. Okay, here we have two types of quantities. Okay, that is scalar quantity and vector quantity. Okay, scalar quantity and vector quantity. Yeah, have you heard this word scalar quantities and vector quantities anywhere? No, is it? So let us learn. Okay, scalar quantity means it requires only magnitude. Okay children, it requires only magnitude. Okay, and then what is vector quantity? It is the quantity which requires both magnitude and direction. Okay children, it requires both magnitude and direction. Okay, let us see one by one. Okay, children. Okay, the first is scalar quantities. Okay, it is a physical quantity which has only magnitude, that is scalar quantity. Okay, children, the physical quantity which has magnitude only. Okay, that is scalar quantity. Okay, yeah, what are the examples for scalar quantities? Do you know? Mass, time, volume, distance, length. Okay, these are all the scalar quantities. Okay, can you repeat? Mass, time, volume, length, distance. Okay, children. Okay, etc. Okay, and these are all the scalar quantities. Okay, these all the quantities which require only the magnitude. Okay, mass require only magnitude. Okay, time require only the magnitude, temperature require only the magnitude. Okay, so that we are calling this as scalar quantity. Okay, children. Okay, let us see with an example. Okay, yeah, here we have Jerry with us. Okay, to learn scalar quantities and vector quantities. Okay, children. Okay, yeah, what they had written, mass of Jerry is 1 kilogram facing east. Children, if you are measuring your mass in east direction, west direction, northwest direction, in any of the direction means also your mass will be same with the children. If you are measuring 30 kilogram in east, you will measure the same 30 kilogram in west and same 30 kilogram in the south. Is it, children? And see, they had mentioned, okay, mass of Jerry is 1 kilogram facing east. Okay, and then see about the temperature. Temperature of Jerry is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, temperature of Jerry is 37 degrees Celsius in northwest direction. Okay, children, try. If you are measuring your temperature with a thermometer means if you are in the northwest direction, if you are in the northeast direction, west, south, if you are in any other direction means also you will measure the same temperature. Okay, the temperature won't change. So, is it necessary to mention the direction there? No, is it, children? So that we are calling this mass, temperature, distance, volume and time as the scalar quantity. Okay, here only the magnitude is sufficient. Okay, we can say simply mass of Jerry is 1 kilogram. Okay, temperature of Jerry is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, and temperature of any other person is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, 102 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, we can say anything. Okay, but we don't want the direction. Is it, children? Mass, temperature ki direction enge irundhalum it will be same, is it? So that for scalar quantities only the magnitude is sufficient. Can you all understood? So what does mean by scalar quantity? The physical quantities that have only a magnitude is called scalar quantity. Okay, the physical quantity that have only a magnitude are called scalar quantity. Okay, what are the examples? Mass, temperature, time, volume, length, distance. Okay, children. Okay, these are all the examples of scalar quantities. Okay, so we can simply say mass of Jerry is 1 kilogram and temperature of Jerry is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, children, only magnitude is sufficient for scalar quantity. Okay, can you all understand about scalar quantity, children? Okay, and then vector quantities. Okay, what is mean by vector quantity? The physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction is called vector quantity. Okay, a physical quantity which has both magnitude and direction. Okay, the physical quantities can be completely defined only when a direction is associated with its magnitude, that is vector quantity. Okay, here we need both magnitude and direction. Okay, only the magnitude is not sufficient. Okay, magnitude mattum therinja we can't find. Okay children, so we need direction. Okay children, so that we are calling this as vector quantity. Okay, what are the examples of vector quantity? Displacement, velocity, acceleration, force. Okay children, these are all the vector quantities. Okay, let us see some examples. Let's see an example. Okay children, okay, here Tom comes to know that Jerry is 2 meters from the traffic signal. Okay, so that Tom is really happy. Okay, it is excited that he can hold Jerry. Is it children? So it is very excited. Okay, so Tom rushed to that signal. Okay, after reaching the signal, he got confused. Why children? Do you know why? Because Jerry can stand 2 meters from the right side road, or 2 meters from the 2 meters in the left side road, or 2 meters in the straight road. So children, we know only 2 meters from the traffic signal. We know only that information. So children, okay, he can stand 2 meters in the right side road, 2 meters in the left side road, or he can stand 2 meters from the straight road also. The children, so because of this only he got confusion. So this time also Tom missed Jerry. Okay, he can't catch Jerry. So what was the information he got? Okay, Tom is standing 2 meters, is simply 2 meters from the traffic signal. So only the magnitude is not sufficient to find vector quantities. Okay children, only the magnitude is not sufficient to find vector quantity. Okay, so what we need? We need direction. As a children, if they had mentioned in the information, if they had mentioned the direction, means Tom can easily catch Jerry. Is it children? So it is children. Now Tom got another information. Okay, what is the information? Now Jerry is 2 meters towards east. Okay, now Jerry is 2 meters towards east in the traffic signal. Okay children, so it is easy for the Tom to catch. Is it children? Catch Jerry. Okay, he can hold Jerry and eat it. Is it children? So if he knows both magnitude and direction, means okay, he can get hold of Jerry and it can eat it. Is it? So if we have both magnitude and direction, means that is called vector quantity. Okay, so what is meant by vector quantity? The physical quantity can be completely defined only when a direction is associated with its magnitude. Okay, only magnitude is not sufficient. Okay, to find vector quantity we need both magnitude and direction. Is it children? We have already said Jerry is 2 meters from the traffic signal, but the Tom can't find Jerry. Is it children? He got confusion. Why? What is the reason? Okay, there is no direction mentioned. Is it children? Direction is not mentioned there. Is it? So now he got the direction. Is it? Jerry is 2 meters towards east. Now Tom can easily catch Jerry and eat it. Okay children, so what is meant by vector quantity? The physical quantities that have both magnitude and direction is called vector quantity. Children, can you all understood? Let us continue with the next topic. Okay, distance and displacement. Okay, distance and displacement. Children, what does mean by distance? If you are coming from your home to school, okay, you will travel some distance. Is it? That is called distance. Okay. So what does mean by distance is the distance traveled is the actual length, okay, length of the path taken by a moving body from the initial to final position, okay. The distance traveled is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body from initial to final position, okay. If you are moving from your home to your school, okay, for that, if you are measuring the length of the path, means that is the distance, okay, from your home to our school, okay. If you are measuring the length, means that is the distance traveled, okay children. So what is meant by distance? The distance traveled is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body from the initial to final position, okay. Again repeat it. The distance traveled is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body from initial to final position, okay. And distance can be measured in kilometer, meter, miles, okay. You can measure it, okay children. You can measure it by kilometer, meter and miles, okay. But what is the SI unit of distance? The SI unit of distance is meter, okay. The SI unit of distance is meter, okay. And then it is of scalar quantity, okay children. Distance is measured by length, is it? Distance is measured by length. It requires only magnitude, is it children? If what is the distance you have traveled means, what will you say? If you are from your house to school, if it is 5 kilometer means, you will say only the 5 kilometers, is it children? So distance is the scalar quantity, okay. What does mean by distance? Distance traveled is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body from initial to final position, okay. And what is the SI unit of length? Sorry, what is the SI unit of distance? Meter, okay. We are measuring the length, distance in length, is it children? So the SI unit is meter, okay. So it is of scalar quantity, okay. We need only the magnitude, okay, for measuring, for saying the distance you have traveled, only we need magnitude, so children. You will say 5 kilometers, 5 meters, 5 miles, like that you will say, is it children? So we need only magnitude. So distance is the scalar quantity, okay children. Okay, let us see an example. Children, what you can see? You can see Tom, Jerry and cheese, the children, okay. We know Jerry likes cheese, the children. Jerry likes cheese very much, okay. Now Jerry wants to eat that cheese, okay. And there is the path, okay, that blue line, okay. He can take that blue line, but Tom is there in that path, okay. If Tom had seen Jerry, Tom will eat up the Jerry, okay. So that Jerry can't take that path, okay. Blue color path Jerry can't take, okay. So that now Jerry is thinking, okay children, okay, there is another one path, okay. There is another one path, that is, you can see in the top, is it? The 3 meter and 4 meter, okay. That is the path, okay. He can go by that path also, okay children. He can go by that path and eat the cheese, okay. Or there is another one way, a green color line, the children, that is 6 meter, okay. Jerry can take that path and eat that cheese, okay. And there is again another one path, in the bottom there is another one path, the children, 4 meter and 3 meter, okay. Jerry can take that path also, but Jerry is taking the first path, okay, 3 meter and 4 meter path, okay. He can't go by the blue path, the children, because Tom is there. So that Jerry is choosing the path which was in the top, okay. So 3 meter and 4 meter. So 3 plus 4, 7 meter, okay. He is traveling 7 meters to eat the cheese, okay children. So what does mean by the distance? The distance traveled is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body from an initial to final position. Okay, so Jerry is taking, okay, Jerry is traveling, okay, from through the 3 meter and 4 meter path. Okay, so this is the distance traveled by Jerry. Okay, the distance which was in the top, okay, and the path which was in the top was chosen by Jerry. Okay, so he is traveling 3 meter and 4 meter to reach the cheese. Okay, to eat the cheese. Okay, so that is the distance traveled by Jerry. Okay, children, yeah, what is mean by the distance traveled? Distance traveled is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body from the initial to final position. Okay, here the moving body is Jerry. Okay, Jerry chooses the path which was 3 meter and 4 meter. So he is traveling 7 meter. Okay, distance traveled by Jerry is 7 meter. Okay, to eat the cheese, Jerry traveled 7 meter. Okay, children, this is the distance traveled by Jerry. Okay, children, can you all understand about distance? Okay, it is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body. Okay, here the moving body is Jerry. Okay, he had chosen the path as the path which was in the top. Okay, so 3 meter and 4 meter. So that is the actual length of the path taken by Jerry. Okay, from the initial to final position. Okay, children, so what does mean by distance? Distance traveled is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body from the initial to final position. Okay, children, and let us see about displacement. Okay, children, displacement is the shortest distance traveled by a moving body. Okay, children, from the initial to final position, if you take the shortest distance, means that is the displacement. Okay, children, okay, what is the SI unit of displacement? It can be measured in meter. Okay, it can be in meter. Okay, and it is of vector quantity. Okay, what is meant by vector quantity? It should have both magnitude and direction. Okay, it should have both magnitude and direction. So it is called vector quantity. Okay, and then what is the next point? We can say the displacement is always greater than distance traveled. Okay, distance traveled avide shortest distance the smaller is the children. So that we are saying displacement is less than, okay, less than or equal to the distance traveled. Okay, yeah, what does mean by displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance traveled by the moving body, so that it will be less, is it, children? So let us see example. Okay, children. Children, what does mean by displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance traveled by a moving body from the initial to the final position in a definite direction. Okay, children. So displacement is the shortest distance. Yeah, children, say which is the shortest distance for Jerry to take the cheese? This 5 meter, that blue color path is the shortest distance for Jerry to take the cheese. Is it, children? So if he had taken that 5 meter distance, 5 meter path means only it is the shortest distance. Okay, that is the displacement. Okay, children. Now Jerry got the cheese. Is it, children? So which is the displacement here? 5 meter is the displacement. Is it? That 5 meter is the shortest distance. Okay, for the Jerry to take the cheese. Okay, children. So that blue color path, that is the shortest path for Jerry to take the cheese. Okay, children. So it is called as displacement. Okay, so it is called as displacement. Okay, children, we have already said displacement is a vector quantity. Is it, children? For that we need direction. Is it, children? So what is the direction? Children, what is the direction? In which direction it moves to get the cheese? Okay, Jerry moves 5 meter in the northeast direction. Okay, children, Jerry moves 5 meter in the northeast direction from its hole. Okay, children. So 5 meter is the magnitude and northeast is the direction. So vector quantities has both magnitude and direction. Can you all understand, children? Children, which is the displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance, the children. So this 5 meter is the shortest distance for Jerry to get that cheese. Okay, children. So it moves 5 meter towards the northeast direction. So displacement is the vector quantity. Okay, children. Can you all understand? Children, we have learnt about distance and displacement. The children, yeah, which path does Jerry chose? Jerry had chosen the path which was at the top. The children, 3 meter plus 4 meter. So the distance travelled equal to 3 plus 4. So totally 7 meter. Okay. To get the cheese, Jerry had travelled 7 meter. Okay. But which is the displacement? Okay. To reach the cheese, which is the displacement? Which is the shortest distance? That 5 meter is the shortest distance. Okay. How will you find that displacement? The square root of the distance. Okay, children. So root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. So what is the answer? 5 meter is the displacement. Okay. The path which was having 5 meter is the shortest distance. Okay. Shortest distance that Jerry can use to take that cheese. Okay, children, can you all understand? So what is meant by distance? Distance travelled is the actual length of the path taken by a moving body from the initial to final position. Okay, Jerry had taken the first path. The children, 3 meter and 4 meter. That is the path Jerry had chosen to take that cheese. Okay. But what is meant by displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance travelled by a moving body. The children. Okay, which is the shortest distance? The shortest distance is 5 meter. Okay, 5 meter where the Tom was sleeping there in that path. Okay, that is the shortest distance. Okay, children. So that path is called displacement. Okay. So how will you find the displacement? The square root of distance. Okay, children. The square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. That is called the distance. So what is the displacement? 5 meter is the displacement. Can you all understand, children? Number 23. See in the top, if Sangeeta walks from A, okay, she is walking from A position, okay. You can see the image in page number 23. Can you see? Okay, see that image. Okay, see that path, okay, children. Yeah, if Sangeeta walks from A, okay, she is walking from A position along the perimeter of the rectangle, okay. She walks from A position along the perimeter of the rectangle and reaches back to A. Again, she goes to C and back to D and again back to B and she came back to A position. Okay, children, A to C, C to D and D to B and again B to A. Okay, she just go round. Okay, in that rectangular path, she just covered that rectangular area. Okay, children. Okay, round போயிட்டு வந்துட்டா. Okay, the rectangular path la. Okay, so she again reaches back to the A position. Okay, children. So what is the distance travelled and displacement? Children, how will you find the distance travelled? If we have added the perimeter means we can find the children, but she had taken a full path, is it? So 30 plus 40 plus 30 plus 40. So that we are doing 40 meter into 2 and 30 meter into 2. Is it, children? Rectangle means opposite sides are equal, is it, children? So that we are just multiplying with 2. Can you all understand? Just see that image in page number 22. Okay, children. Sangeeta is walking from A and she goes to C. Okay. And again she goes to D and again she goes to B and back to A. Okay, she is coming back to the same position A. Okay, children, so what is the distance traveled by her? Okay, we can add all the perimeters, is it, children? 30 plus 40 plus 30 plus 40, is it? So simply what we can do? 30 into 2, 40 into 2, is it, children? So 140 meter. Okay. Can you all understand? 140 meter. So what will be the displacement? What will be the displacement? She had started walking from position A and again comes back to position A. Is it, children? Started from the same position A. Okay, she had started from A position and come back to the same position A. So what is the displacement? Which is the shortest distance here? A and the A ku shortest distance panama. No, is it, children? So displacement is 0. Okay, children? Can you all understood? She had started walking in the rectangular area. Okay, children? So okay, she just walked across the perimeter. Okay, so we are just adding the perimeter 30 plus 40 plus 30 plus 40. Okay, simply what we can do, 40 into 2, 30 into 2. Okay, we can add those two, means we will get 140 meter. So what about displacement? She had started walking from the point A, the position A, and again she comes to position A. Okay, so what is the displacement here? Displacement is 0. Okay, children, can you all understood? Okay, if I had given homework sum, means you can do easily, is it, children? If you are finding distance, means you can add the path, add the distances you have traveled. Okay, children, simply you had added the length of the distances you had traveled, that is the distance. Okay, and displacement is the shortest distance, is it, children? If she had starts from A and come back to A, means which is the shortest distance? There is no shortest distance, is it, children? A lende thirumba A ke varnumna shortest distance one irukka illa, is it, children? So the displacement is 0. Can you all understood? Okay, let us check our homeworks. Okay, yeah, first of all, first is the homework of the second video. Okay, it is the homework of second video. I had given 2 questions, but one is the problem sum. Okay, so I had given answer for that. See, yeah, find this question from in your notebook. Have you all found out? Yeah, see, what is the answer? What is the question first? The mass of the body is 2 kilogram. Okay, the mass of the body is 2 kilogram. And what is the weight in kilogram force and Newton? Okay, the question is given, only they had given about the mass. Okay, mass of the body is 2 kilogram. Okay, we should find the weight in kilogram force and Newton. How will you find, children? Kilogram to kilogram force means there is no change. So 2 kilogram force. Okay, children, there is 2 kilogram. So kilogram force is also 2 kilogram force. Okay, and what about Newton? 2 kilogram force into 9.8. Okay, 2 into 9.8. So what is the answer? 19.6 Newton. Have you all got this answer, children? If you didn't get this answer, means you should correct your answers. Okay, children? If you got this, means very good. Okay. And then homework 3. This is the homework from third video. Okay, children? And there also I had given 2 questions. One is this problem and another one is density. Okay, what is meant by density I had asked. Okay, density you can write easily, is it, children? So I had given the problem answer for the problem question. So if a block has a mass of 125 gram, okay, a block having the mass of 125 gram, okay, and then volume of 25 centimeter cube, okay, and volume of 25 centimeter cube, and what is its density? Okay, you should find the density. Mass and volume was given. So what is the formula to find density? Density equal to mass by volume, is it, children? Density equal to mass by volume. So 125 divided by 25. Is it, children? So what is the answer? 5 gram per centimeter cube. Okay, 5 gram per centimeter cube. Have you all got these answers, children? If you didn't get this answer, means your answer is wrong. Okay, children? You should correct the answers you have written. Okay? And then the next is the homework questions which was given in the video 4. Okay? What is the first question? The density of gold is 19.0 gram per cc. Okay? The density of gold is 19.0 gram per cc, and the volume of 95 gram of gold, we should find the volume. Okay, so how will you find? Density is given and mass is given. We should find the volume. So volume, what is the formula to find volume? Volume equal to mass by density, is it? So volume equal to mass by density, is it, children? So 95 gram per 19.0 gram per cc. So what is the answer? 5 cc is the answer. Okay, 5 cc is the answer. And then second question, the density of the body is 3 kg per meter cube and volume is 0.6 meter cube. Okay, find its mass. Okay, how will you find mass? Mass equal to volume into density. Okay, mass equal to volume into density. So what is the answer? 0.6 into 3, so 0.8 kilogram is the answer. Okay, have you all got these answers, children? If you had got this, means very good. Okay, if you didn't get these answers, means please correct your answers, children. Children, this is the homework for video 7. Okay, homework answers of video 7. Okay, yeah, see the first question. An object moves such that its distances from a fixed point remains the same. What is the answer? Rotatory motion. Okay, and second one, the motion of pendulum is an example of both periodic motion and oscillatory motion. So the answer is both A and B. Okay, and then third question, some kind of change in position of an object is called motion. Okay, if there is change, means that is motion. Okay, and then fourth one, in rectilinear motion the objects move along straight line. Okay, in rectilinear motion the object moves along straight line. Okay, children, have you all checked these answers? Check your answers, children. If you are wrong, means correct your answers. Okay, and then the amount of time required for one cycle to occur is called time period. Okay, it is time period. Okay, children, and then sixth one, the number of oscillations completes in 1 second is called frequency. Okay, the answer is frequency. Okay, the particle move to and fro, that is back and forth along an arc in oscillatory motion. Okay, children, oscillatory motion. Children, check your answers. And then this is homework answers for video 8. Okay, so the what is the first question? Draw simple pendulum and label its parts. Okay, have you drawn? Have you labeled the parts properly? Okay, that is very easy, is it, children? Okay, and itself do. So we'll see the answers for the fill in the blanks. Okay, so if the mass of the bob is increased, the time period does not change. Okay, the first question, first answer is does not change. Okay, and then second one, if the length of the pendulum increases, the time period of the pendulum increases. Okay, length increases means time period also increases. Okay, and then third one, the dash of the pendulum remains constant if length is fixed. Time period. Okay, third one, time period. The time period of the pendulum remains constant if length is fixed. Okay, and then fourth question, when pendulum is at rest and not swinging, it is at mean position. Okay, the answer is mean position. Okay, and then fifth one, frequency can be denoted by, we can denote it as F or N. Okay, so have you all checked your answers, children? And let us write our classwork. Okay, already we have written 2 questions, is it, children? So we didn't learn third question. Okay, in the next class we will write third question. Now put number 4 and write this question. Okay, differentiate between a scalar and a vector. Okay, scalar quantity and vector quantity. We have learned, as a children, has only magnitude. Scalar quantity has only magnitude, but vector quantity has both magnitude and direction. Okay, and then can be represented by a line. Okay, it can be represented by a line. Okay, and vector quantity, it can be represented by a line with an arrowhead. Okay, if you are representing scalar quantity means you will put a small line, that's all. Okay, children, but for representing vector quantity you will put an arrow. Okay, a line with an arrowhead in the top. Okay, above that V you will put an arrow line in the top. Okay, children, okay, that is called vector quantity. So, and then third point, what are the examples? Speed and distance are the examples, and vector quantity, velocity and displacement are the examples. Okay, children? Yeah, take your classwork note and write it. Use ink pens to write, put today's date and start writing. Children, have you all written? And then classify the following physical quantities as scalars or vectors. Okay, you should find which are the physical quantities are scalar and vectors. Okay, you should identify that. Okay, acceleration, force, time, mass, velocity, speed, density, volume. Yeah, here what are the scalar quantities here? Acceleration is a vector quantity. Okay, children, so it has magnitude and direction. Okay, acceleration is a vector quantity. And force is also a vector quantity. It needs magnitude as well as direction. Okay, time needs only magnitude. Okay, so it is a scalar quantity. Time, okay, scalar quantity, time. Okay, and then mass is also a scalar quantity. It needs only magnitude. Okay, and then velocity it needs both magnitude and direction. So it is a vector quantity. Okay. So speed is a scalar quantity. Okay, and density is also a scalar quantity, and volume is also a scalar quantity. Okay, children. Already we have learned this in the examples, is it, children? Examples of scalar quantities and vector quantities, is it? Okay, note it down in your classwork notebook. Children, have you all written? And this is your homework question. Okay. What is the first question? Identify whether it is scalar or vector. Okay. Okay, you are going to identify. Okay, what is the first question? Wind blowing at 20 mph. Is there any direction? No, is it? So, identify. It is scalar or vector. Okay, children. And then second one, 30 meter per second in east. Okay, they had mentioned direction also. So, okay, right, which it is a scalar or vector quantity. Okay, and then third question, D running 15 meters per second due west. Okay, there is magnitude and also direction. Okay, children, and then fill in the blanks. Mr. X travelled north 5 miles and then goes west 3 miles before coming straight back south 2 miles. What is the distance? Okay, children. So distance means what should we do? We should add all the parts. Okay, children. 5 plus 3 plus 2. Okay. Think and write the answer. Okay, children. And then second question. The quantity that has both magnitude and direction is called dash. Okay, we have learned, is it? So write the answer. And then third question. The quantity described by magnitude and does not need the direction is dash. Okay, write it. Okay, and then fourth one, displacement is a dash quantity. Okay, displacement is a dash quantity. Write it. Okay, children. And then fifth one, Mr. K runs exactly 2 laps around a 400 meter track. Yeah, have you seen the 400 meter track? It will be in the oval shape, is it, children? If it's the starting point and the ending point will be same, is it? If you had started from the place means you will end in the same place, is it, children? So the displacement is, there is no displacement, is it, children? So write the answer. Okay. Okay, note down the homework questions, children. Children, do the homeworks properly. Learn whatever I had taught in the class properly. Okay, children? Okay, thank you, children.